Good morning. My name is Jeff and welcome to my tropical garden. Today we're going to discuss air layering of lychees and longan. More specifically, a longan tree that I have growing in the side yard of my house. As you can see right here, I have the tree is fruiting right now, so we know that the variety is good for our area. My area being California Central Valley Zone 9B. This tree takes a little bit of frost, so it seems to be good for our area. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about propagating. And a lot of people ask, why can't I just take a fruit from a store-bought fruit, a seed from a store-bought fruit, and just plant it in the ground? Here we have one of my longan seeds. You can plant it in a pot, and it will grow. But the tree may never produce fruit, or if it does, it may produce inferior fruit, or it could take 20, 30 years. So what we do is we propagate it through a process called air layering. And what that is you are taking a branch off the tree. And they're difficult to root off the tree. So what we do is we bring the soil medium to the tree and propagate it that way. So here we go. We're going to take this branch. As we can see, we have an upright branch. I like using upright branches because it's been my experience that if I use branches that are going sideways, once you air layer it and then put it in a pot of soil, they tend to grow sideways. Upright growing branches tend to make more upright trees. And in my area, I like them upright because I can keep them in my small lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to cut a strip of bark off this this branch, and we're going to scrape the cambium layer. And what will happen is I will wrap some soil medium around it, and so what I'm going to do is cut a strip of bark off. I like about an inch or so. This is maybe a little bit bigger than an inch, but that's okay. And we want to get this bark off, and then we want to scrape the cambium layer. The cambium layer is what I call the lifeline to the tree. And what it forces it to do is it forces a callus to grow at the upper edge of this strip of where the strip of bark is removed. It will start trying to grow and try to fill this gap. The bark is not slipping really good right now, so I have to cut it, but that's okay. The nice thing about air layering is you just have to get down to the cambium layer. Now what you can see is if you see right there, the bright white area, that's the cambium layer. The rest is bark, so we have to cut through. I apologize if it looks like I'm fiddling around. We always do a one and done video. I'm not good at video editing. But that's one of the unique things about my channel is what you see is what you get. Cut that very deep. So what we do is I'm going to cut this. Ideally, it's when the bark is slipping, that is, that it separates from the cambium very easy. Today, it's not slipping, as the tree's not in full growth stage. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off this bark. And we want to take it off all the way around. If you leave any of it on, then the cambium will regrow and callus will regrow and bridge the graft. And that we don't want. So what I do in a situation like this, I want to get all that bark and cambium off. I have a pair of pliers. And this looks drastic, but believe it or not, it doesn't hurt the tree. A lot of people don't know that you can do this, and as you can see, we want to get all that cambium off, because that's where a callus will grow, and it will try to bridge that gap. And what will happen is, there we go, that looks pretty good. We have, the new growth will usually come off right there. So, what we do is we're going to take some sphagnum moss, ideal. This is stuff doesn't rot. This is the, no specific brand. Not peat moss will work, but I like sphagnum moss. This stuff is decayed plant material. And ideally soak it overnight in water, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to do a quick version. You want it completely saturated, and sometimes peat moss is kind of hard to get saturated with water. That's why we like to soak it overnight. This year my tree is just loaded with longans. I couldn't believe it. Probably 10 or 15 pounds. And this tree is somewhat shaded, in a shaded location. I'll throw it on the side of my house. Look at the mess here. You want it to pretty much stick together. You have to wring it out really well. From time to time, once I put this on the branch, you'll notice that after a couple months it might be dried out. You might have to add a little more water to the... So, we got that there. Take my... My wife's cringing. She don't like me using my teeth for stuff like this, but hey. So, we come over here, and we put the moss on there.
And you're using saran wrap to hold it in place?
Saran wrap to hold it in place. I like a little bit bigger. I get like a little bit bigger amount of. It's all right. You don't have to hold it.
And then what does the foil do?
The foil shades the peat moss, and what will happen is roots will grow in the peat moss, and it will. It takes approximately, if you do this in the spring, it'll take maybe 90 days. But if you, I don't think I'll just tie this. But now that we're getting close to, we're in fall, I'll leave this on over the winter, and probably when the weather warms in the summer, I'll remove it. And then what I'll do is I will, I'll cut off most of the leaves except for off the branch. Once the branch is rooted in the peat moss, I will separate the it from the tree. And then I will remove all these leaves. I'll remove all these leaves except for the one set at the very top. Plant it in a pot with a loose draining soil, and leave it in the shade. And then you just will water it very, very lightly, maybe once every 2 weeks or so, until you notice it start to grow. Then you slowly but surely put the plant into the sun as it starts to take off growing. I think that's just about it. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. My name is Jeff. If you like these type of videos and you get anything out of them, hit that subscribe button. That way we can make this a better channel. The more viewers we get, the more questions we get, the better the channel is. You have a good day.